let me say this part too, that we don't give enough value to. Dude, we don't know which person we are in our lineage. We don't know who we are. Meaning, you look at, I watched a documentary, you read Obama's story or Kennedy's story, and you see Joseph Kennedy has his oldest son, Joe, and he's planning to build him to be the president, and he ends up going to war, and he dies as a fighter pilot, and he was the guy that was supposed to be it, and the kid who had back problems his entire life, who was the youngest one that nobody expected, and the father gave up on life after the oldest son died. He was depressed for years, and the guy that he least expected to be the president ends up becoming the president. Yeah. And then you watch the documentary Trumpster. There is the grandfather who comes in, who has restaurants and parlors and all this stuff. I think in Alaska, out of all the places, literally, I think in Alaska. And then he has his son, Fred Trump, who moves to Jersey, New York. He makes his money. And then the grandfather didn't know that his grandson was one day going to be the billionaire and be the president. That you don't know the sacrifice. None of us know what the hell we're here until we die. It's going to take a long time for you to really realize your purpose. Sometimes God's using you to be the person that he's counting on for this generation to do something big with. But sometimes he's using you to breed the person that's going to end up breeding the person that's going to end up breeding the person that's going to be the best president we've ever had. And the grandfather's never going to know about it. One of the chapels I went and saw in Venice, they said this place took 330 years to build. The first engineer that wrote out the map and wrote out the, what do you call it? The
plan,
the architecture plan. He knew what he was building. Right. His great grandkid was never going to see it. Can you imagine you got a vision that you built something that you're never going to fulfill? We forget that sometimes we're just going to come and go, and it's okay, bro. Be patient. You're just playing a role in something much bigger that you don't know about. That maybe you, if you are lucky to see a part of that become a reality, whether you're being used in a big way or if you see it happening to your kid and your grandkid, I consider you the luckiest man or woman alive. But if you don't, dude, you served your purpose in a different way. Wow. You just got to do you. So we don't know this kind of stuff. You know, we sometimes we sit there because we tell stories like this, and I sit and talk to my dad, and my dad will go and say, you know, he was in love with this one girl, or he was in love. My dad's a romantic. He's a big-time romantic guy. And, you know, he's so, I said, okay. But he says, you know what he says to me lately? He says, but I tell you what, man, if I didn't do that, you wouldn't be here. Paulette wouldn't be here. And look where life would have been. And, you know, I'm so glad I married your mother because I didn't even know what was taking place. And so, guys, as smart as an intellectual and crazy we sound and all this bullshit we talk about, we don't have a clue we got to do our best with our life.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's a part of it that you got to rely on the man upstairs to see what his plans are. And whether you believe in God or not, there's a part of me that just kind of like, you know, you still don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. You're going to go to Louis Bassi and you're going to walk up and the host is going to look at you. You're going to look at her and all of a sudden you're going to talk to her. And you guys are going to exchange numbers. You're going to go to dinner with her, and all of a sudden you're going to be like, I feel something special with this kid. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't even like the feeling I got. And you're going to break up with her, and she's going to be like, what are you doing? You have a feeling for me. Why are you doing this to yourself? 6 months, 12 months later, you're going to come up to me and say, Pat, can we have a cigar? We go to the house. We're up to 3 o'clock in the morning, and you say, Pat, I got feelings for her, but I'm scared, man. We're having that conversation. Then you marry her. Then you have a kid. Then you're 82 years old. Your son ends up running, becoming a president, and we read about him when we're dead. You don't know this kind of stuff. That's why you just got to sometimes, you know, you got to let it come to you. You got to, rather than sometimes we put so much effort into things happen.
Instead of
realizing. You got to dance, man. We got to dance sometimes.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.